Hi everyone, this is Laurel with Guided by Love. Thanks for being here today, and I have an intuitive soul daily tip for you, and this is from the Intuitive Living, um, a Sacred Path book, and I'll show you the book. I've had this for years, Intuitive Living and Alan Seal. I've had it for years, and I recently just been using it and kind of tapping into its wisdom. So, but I held the book and I said, what do we need to know for this intuitive daily today? And I opened it to sexuality and creativity. And so it's about the second chakra, the sacral chakra. This is the primary energy for passion and desires, our passions for living, our sexuality and soul's yearning to create are two of the strongest passions that we have. So we are sexual beings because we're human beings, all of us. This sexuality is the core of our creative energies, our creative process, for it's the core of you. And so by creativity, I want to creative process. I want to, it's more than just like an artistic process. It's the creative process to form the life that we want to live, to create in our lives what we want. So this sexuality is the deepest part of our self-identity, for it is how we relate to self and how we relate to others through relationships. So as a relationship develops, the connection can expand out of the sacral chakra to the higher chakras, to the higher centers. And so I took a lot of notes because there's a lot of really good information. The second chakra is the chakra of we, more than just yourself. It's the oneness, the universal feeling of oneness. We're all connected, the feeling of connection. The first chakra is the chakra of me. And so sexuality has to be clear and free in order to allow we to happen freely on any level. Okay? You recognize when you are open in your sacral chakra, you feel comfortable socially. When you're closed, you move back into the number one chakra, which is the root chakra, which is the me chakra, only wanting to deal with me. So what's the issue with the sexuality? Being open so that you can feel the chemistry with you and others can occur, but it's stepping into yourself, into the deepest part of yourself, and letting the energies flow, just like a tree, from the earth up to the heavens, like the tree from the roots up to the branches, is the analogy. So it's, allowing yourself to step into yourself, the deepest part of yourself, and let those energies in the sacral chakra flow just as they flow from a tree, from the roots all the way up to the branches. This is, in order to do this, it's releasing of the past and the future here, and to be at peace with the beautiful sexual being that you are. So the sexual energy is in essence of you. It's in essence of you because it's your primal energy. You can make choices from, about sexual behavior, but in order to become, evolved, a truly realized being, The sexual energy must be allowed to flow freely in an uninhibited manner. So, just like the tree going from the roots all the way up to the branches to nourish, the sexual energy has to be able to, flow from the sacral down to the root up to the higher levels. I should say up to the higher levels. Excuse me. So creative equals when our sexuality is open, our sacral chakra is open, released and flowing freely. The creativity begins to flow. You'll find your relationships moving into a more interesting realms where you're not as quick to label a relationship. You're more apt to, or have it stuck into a framework. You're more apt to willing to let it flow and find its way, through the flow of love. Um, instead of having it fit into a mold or a framework. So, releasing your sexuality releases your creativity. And this is all housed in the sacral chakra. Creativity enhances our relationships. It's, enhances relationships, enhance our life. So, creativity is about we, not me. And that's, as I said, as you open to the world, expand this chakra, and and the sexuality energy and the creativity energy expands, and your relationships, you open to communication and creativity. And it's like I said, we're not talking about the artsy creativity, we're talking about creativity that allows you to create what you wish for in your life. So this is kind of like an introduction to that chakra, which I think is really important at this time because a lot of us are walking into new chapters. So it's important to really, look at, is there something, and ask Spirit, is there something that I need to release yet from this chakra? So, yeah. So to help it to flow even more so. So that you're creating the life that you want and co-creating with Spirit. So I hope this helps. I'm wishing you a wonderful day, a magical day. Namaste.